Throughout life, there are many opportunities to be disingenuous, to be somebody else, to just not be who you are. So let's talk about authenticity.
For me, image not so much important in those clips in the YouTube realms. It is important that you get less, the real less, how I speak, how I talk, how I do, how I think, and I think that's the most important thing.
Hey, what's up? I'm Ken, this is kenfuTV, and each week I release videos in the martial arts, philosophy, technique, training, that sort of thing. So if that's the kind of thing you're into, I hope you stick around. I hope you subscribe and hit that bell so you know when the new videos come out. If you like this video, if it has value for you, go ahead and hit that like button. While you're down there, leave a comment, and it might get featured in the video next week. At the end of this video will be comments from last week's video. Also, be sure to check out the video description because there are chapter markers so that you can jump around to the parts that you're interested in. But let's jump into this conversation about authenticity. Now, this video was inspired by Bubka's video he did recently. If you haven't checked out Les's stuff, he has some really great content, both from the mental and philosophical side, but also from the technique side. In this video, he talked about image versus authenticity and how easy it is to be tempted to put on a bit of a show and not be exactly who you are. But before we jump into that, I want to jump into something I received from him this week. He doesn't know I'm doing this, but I wanted to talk about something that he just came out with himself that I think is really cool. And that is this karate journal. In the karate journal, he wanted to do something just a little bit different. Big proponent of taking notes, which I am too. I think it's really important. It's something that I am not very good at, and something that I wish that I could be better at. But really what that takes is practice and discipline. Les, however, is good at it. He talks about all the different notebooks that he's used over time, but they were all missing at least one thing, and he wanted to incorporate that. So let me talk about this really quick. One of the things that I love about it is all the same page throughout the whole thing after the first little tiny section. I've had different martial arts journals and different things like that where they're kind of in segments where the first half is like this and the second half is like that or something like that. This is just a lot of pages that you can use the exact same way. That right there is something I'm a big fan of. At the very beginning, he talks about the importance of taking notes and kind of gives some guidance. He's got a great story about the koi fish as well, something that I'm going to leave for you to read when you get the book because just a fun little story, and I hope that you check it out. But inside, he's got a section that talks a little bit about mindset and has some little things to kind of get you motivated to do your journaling. Then gives you a place to record some things yourself. Favorite quotes of encouragement, long-term goals, medium-term goals, and then a place for just general notes, not to be confused with all the notes that you're going to take in the journal page. Once you get to the journal pages, they're all set up kind of the same, kind of like this here. And what you have in there is the date, a goal for that session, what you actually did when you trained, what you learned for it, a place to write down something that you took away from that particular class. You also included a place for your mood, a place to track your mood before the session and after the session. So you can kind of connect. How did you feel beforehand when you walked in the door and you hadn't trained yet versus when you left training? Did you leave training feeling better? Did you leave training feeling worse? That's something that we don't track all the time, but it has a lot of value for you to connect what's going on in your life and how that's affecting your day-to-day mindset. From a mental health perspective, I really, really like that. Then you get a couple sections for what could I improve and what did I do well? So you get a chance to see what you can do better, not what you did wrong, what you didn't do well, just what you could do better and what you did do well, so that you can take a minute to reflect on the fact that you did do some good today. Really great. I really like the way this is set up. I struggle with journaling. That's kind of why I started these videos, is so that I didn't have to. I just talk instead. But I'm looking forward to this because the way that it's structured, I think it's actually going to help me take better notes. And right now, while I'm reworking my curriculum, those kind of notes are going to be pretty invaluable. This might just be my book that helps me get my curriculum locked down. So, authenticity. Being authentic. Being who you are, despite who you could be for show, and sticking with it itself. It's certainly a level of integrity that's required. In the video, he talks about how he wants to be himself. Also, that if he does seminars, which he does teach and travel to do seminars, that if somebody sees him on video and then works with him in person, that's the same person that they get to work with. That his videos haven't lied about who he is. And so warts and all, he is who he is. You get a picture of exactly that. And then if you get a chance to meet and work with him, then that's what you get. That's what happens. That's the person that you get to meet. I really like that, and that's something that's really important to me. I wanted to talk about it today because of the fact that it's really important to me. When I set out to make this channel, I knew that there were a lot of things that I could do to be successful, to be a successful YouTuber and do all of that sort of thing. There are people who do an incredible job being good at YouTube. They mix in their own content, but at the end of the day, they're being good at YouTube, and they do really well. They're successful, and they've been able to go full time, and it even generates money for them. When I started this, that was something that I didn't want to cloud what I do and why I do it. And for the most part, I've stuck exactly to that. There have been a few times that something is relevant, and I do recognize timing and the fact that while something is on the top of people's minds, it's the right time to talk about it. But outside of that, everything that I do on this channel is done for me, by me, the way that I want to do it. And I accept that that means that there are times that people won't like what I do. People won't like that video. People won't like what's happening, or they might not even like this channel at all because of the fact that it might not be what they're looking for. And that's okay. At the end of the day, this channel's for me. And what I do is for me. And that's really important. I could do a lot of things to try to make everything popular, to try to match the algorithm, to try to do all kinds of whatever. But I think that we get a stronger connection. You and me get a stronger connection because I don't do that. Because I am exactly who I am. Some of you have even called, we've had conversations on the phone, and you've gotten a chance to talk to me, and it was probably like this. If you've talked to me in person and you want to comment about what it was like and how different I am in person versus on the phone, hit those comments and do it. Give people a perspective of what the difference is between talking to me in person and these videos. But for me, I have probably one of the best compliments that I've gotten on this channel. Came from a student and a really good friend of mine, and we were training, and she admitted, she's like, I really haven't watched very many of them. And then what she said after that is, you know, I watched some and I kind of wanted to see what it was all about. And then I realized it's exactly what you do in class. It's exactly who you are and that. She's like, you know, I kind of admire that a little bit, that it's not any different. And that was probably the biggest compliment I've ever gotten for what my goal was with this channel. It's no different. If you train with me, if you have me in your life, then this is the person that you get. And that these videos, when she watched these videos, she went, these are the same things that you tell me in class. These are the same things that we talk about. This is the same way that you are. I could not have gotten a better compliment than that. I don't care how flashy it is and your lighting looked really good and this or that. The fact that I came across as genuine and that what I do is no different than if I do it for you in person versus do it for you online makes me feel like I'm doing what I wanted to do. What I intended to do is connect with people. And we may never get to meet in person. I hope we do. I hope there's times where we train, we do seminars, whatever, we get together in different ways. There's tons of you now who are watching this channel, and I would love to have different opportunities to meet each of you. And I hope that when that happens, that the person that you meet is the person that you're used to. That if we sit down to dinner, that it's like you're sitting down with an old friend because you've gotten to know me over time. So I really admire what Les is doing when he talks about being authentic and not going out of his way to make scripts and change his grammar, English is his second language, things like that, so that he could make a more polished and a more refined video. Because I love Les just how he is. And the best part is he doesn't even know I'm making this video. It's just something that was on my mind when I watched his video. I don't get a ton of times to talk to him, so really, we're not terribly close. But it might seem like it. I wear his shirts. You should go get one of these shirts. The shirts are awesome. You should go buy one of his journals, right? I tell you to do all this stuff, not because I'm motivated by the fact that he's asking me to or anything like that, but just because I believe in what he's doing. When you see these videos and the things that I'm talking about, this is also authentic because he doesn't know. It's just because I believe in what he's doing. And throughout time on this channel, I've just picked things to point out because I believe in what's happening with them. And I get where he's coming from on the scripts. I'm the same way. These videos are how they are, the way they are, because I don't write a script. I can't do it. I've even tried like bulleted lists every now and again. If it's a big deal or if it's something that has a number, like 5 ways to do this or whatever, I might make myself a quick list of what those 5 things were. But I've tried kind of writing out, hey, here's what I want to talk about, or here's how I want to say what I want to say, and it doesn't work for me. I break down, I fall apart while I do it, and I just always am left feeling like it was robotic and just kind of, I know there are people who are really good at that, but I'm not one of them. For me, I've just got to say it. I've got to have an idea in my mind, and I just have to say it. So my process is I go hop in the shower, I think about whatever it is that I was planning on talking about today, and I just take my time in quiet by myself, and then I just press record and get started. And some videos are 10 minutes long, some videos are 30 minutes long, and I apologize for that because since there is no script, I can just ramble and say whatever. I'm rambling right now. But at the end of the day, it's me being who I am, doing things the way that I do, and just sharing who I am and what I do with you. So I hope you like it. I hope you go check out Les's video. If you haven't looked at his stuff, you should. Not because I tell you to, but because he's got a really great outlook that I really appreciate. And I hope that you go check it out and just see what it's all about. In the meantime, we'll go look at comments from last week, and then we'll wrap this video up. Okay, here we go. Comments from last week. Last week's video was 5 tips on going back to in-person training. Things that I struggled with, things that I had to learn from to go back to in-person training. Hopefully you're in a place where COVID is lightening up and you guys are getting back to training and getting to spend time hands-on with each other and getting back to developing that training mindset. Foundation Healing Arts says, I found the video component of quarantine training completely invaluable. Therefore, I'll continue to do exchanges when our school opens up again. I think that's really neat. I like that you're going to do that. And, I hope you comment on how you plan on integrating that into what you do. Is it going to be something that's kind of supplemental to the class? So you reach out and have different kind of video components to go along with whatever the lesson was, or what? I'd like to hear if you would. Tell me about it. Slider X. Ryan says, the best thing we can do right now is keep our students motivated. Keep them excited about wanting to come back. You're absolutely right. That can be really hard. And I don't even know if I did a good job of doing that, but it is the most important thing, is focusing on being able to keep people motivated and get them excited. Like you said, get them excited and wanting to come back. Create the emotion you want them to have about the experience so that they do it on their own. I love that. MG says, quarantine training worked out really well for me personally. Long story short, my instructor had gone crazy and wasn't really teaching his classes anymore. Before lockdown last year, he told me that if my chi was strong enough, I wouldn't catch COVID. I quit the next day. Yeah, I think I probably would too. When it comes to the energy stuff and chi and ki and all of that, I believe that there is scientific parts of how all that works and how things go, but anybody who comes out and says you're not going to catch COVID if your chi is strong enough, yeah, that needs a conversation. Or maybe not one. Maybe it's just time to be done. But I took the real stuff I had learned over a decade of training and worked on it every day in quarantine. I spent a month on just footwork, 2 months actually improving my stances, the whole summer on frames, weightlifting, and arnis. The entire fall on Qigong, martial Qigong and conditioning, and martial basics, boxing, etc. And today I'm on my last day of Bagozhang's throwing palm technique, a project that took 6 months, 120-hour-long sessions. I'm excited to find a few new schools and start learning new things. I've been looking into Japanese arts lately, like judo. The main thing I missed out on during quarantine was obviously sparring, so I imagine my timing and other attributes are way off. It's important that you have that reflection, that you realize that that's probably true, though maybe you'll find it less so. With all the other training that you've done, I think it's really cool the way you kind of blocked that out and approached it from a foundational building method. I bet you're looking pretty good after the time that you've spent on this. And your timing, it probably is off, but it's probably not going to be off as much as you think it is. And I'd be curious to hear how it goes when you get back into doing that. Stuart James Gray says, things are a little different here in Canada regarding COVID rules. My dojo has been closed since March 2020 due to facility regulations. Long story. I had been training my first kyu in Udanja at my home dojo until our second lockdown back in October of 2020. I have got my personal training in throughout this time, and I have been told that I may be able to get back into my facility once again soon. Having said that, I'm not sure how that will look when I'm allowed back in. It may just be me and a handful of brown and black belts, but we are the seed for growth once again. It may be exactly that. Obviously that was partially my experience, not necessarily brown and black belts. It was a full mixture, but the group of people who was back was ready to grow the school and to build that awesome environment, to keep training, but then also those are the people that were excited about the school, about the training. So when other people showed up, I don't believe I'm the reason they stayed. I believe the group is the reason why people stay, and they want to keep doing it. And I love that. So I wish you great luck, and I hope that you get back into your facility soon, and that you get a chance to soak up some of that dojo mojo. And, because it's just different. Even training at home, it feels good, but there's just something about being in your space and just I don't know. I wish you luck with that. And I wish everybody luck. I hope that all of you are getting back to training soon. Thank you for leaving these comments and letting me know how that kind of went for you, because I think we're all kind of wondering, am I the only one going through some of this stuff? So I think it's pretty cool that you guys are talking about it. All right, that's it. Let's wrap it up. Okay, that's it. What are you doing to be your authentic you, to be yourself, no matter what the world has going on around you, and the ways that you could fit in better or be more successful by modifying who you are to be someone different than who you are? And how are you staying on track with that? I hope you hit the comments and talk a little bit about what that means to you, and if it's helped you succeed. I truly believe that you will succeed the direction you want to succeed if you move that direction, not if you mold yourself. If you mold yourself, eventually it will overwhelm you and it will break. It will burn you out trying to be someone else. So be you. Know your goal. Write it down. And move steadily towards it. Not tomorrow. Every day. And you'll get there. And you'll get there by being you. If you like what I'm doing here, if you like these videos, you can subscribe right here. Make sure to hit that bell. If you want to see a playlist of these videos, you can hit that right here, and a couple more videos that you might like right here. I'm Ken. This is kenfuTV, and I'll catch you in the next one.